Then there is what I call the depth of it in terms of what we call cultural determinations. And these are things that are culturally connected through through anthropological study. It's not just related to black culture, it's a study of all cultures. How they greet one another is culturally based, right? So that soul shake is not something that I got off of Good Times, right? It was something that was done in my family by my uncles, my granddad, so on and so forth, that was taught to me. But at the same time, I was taught the mainstream handshake. And my uncle would say, when you talking to the man, this is how you shake his hand. And he demonstrated the mainstream handshake, right? But when you're at home, when you're in the community, it's the soul shake or the black man's hug. I don't go to grandma's house and give her the mainstream handshake because she's going to say, boy, what are you doing, right? You reach that hand out. It's not going to work. Eye contact is culturally based. It's culturally based, right? The anthropological study is this. Every culture, it's all relative, has a certain length of time that it's appropriate to look in someone's eyes, okay? And it varies. In some cultures, for example, a lot of European cultures, it's appropriate to gaze and look long, deep into somebody's eyes. And it sends a message of respect or disrespect. Respect, interest, intrigue. That's the message. In other cultures, sometimes you look at someone and you look away. Is that respect or disrespect? Respect. In the culture, and so take it in a school, you have some Asian students or some Latino students, they'll look at the teacher, then they'll look away. And it's a sign of respect. But in a culture of school, it's a sign of what? Disrespect. And the teacher will say, look at me when I'm talking to you. But the student is saying, in my culture, we don't look at you. We look away, right? That's what we call cultural misunderstanding. It's a cultural misunderstanding. In black culture, you look long, you look wrong. Because it sends a message of what? Disrespect. Disrespect, right? It sends a message of confrontation. And so what I'm trying to get you to understand is this is not from hip hop. This is not from TV. This is culturally based, passed down from generation to generation. I can get off any plane anywhere in the country, and I know if it's a young brother on the jetway or whatever, I can't stare him down. Why? Because culturally, I'm sending a message of disrespect. And if he subscribes to black culture, he's going to say, what's up? What you looking at? Why are you looking at me that way? Right? That's cultural. We put it in the context of school, though. We teach the look as a means of classroom management, right? That's mama's look. Means you cut and you say, you better stop what you're doing right now. But what teachers need to understand that if you look too long, then you look wrong, and the student is going to respond culturally. The student is going to say to the teacher, what? What you looking at? Why are you looking at me? She always got her eyes on me. The teacher is going to say, get out. Why? Disrespectful, defiant, deviant. Because the teacher is saying in the context of school, the cultural appropriate thing is I can look at you. But the student is saying, but in my culture, you staring me down. We got a cultural misunderstanding. And this is what leads to the disapportionment of the detentions, referrals, suspensions. This is why, because of these cultural misunderstandings. A lot of these students end up in the office, and when you ask them, why are you here? They say, I don't know. I just said, what you looking at? She sent me out. They don't have an understanding. So what we have to develop is this cultural sensitivity around the teacher understanding that I got to time my look. I have to use proximity. But guess what? I can't get too close because space is a cultural norm as well. In some cultures, you can get up in somebody's face. In other cultures, it's inappropriate. It's rude. So the students are going to say what? Get out of my face. Why are you in my face? And what is the teacher going to say? Get out. Because in school, this is my space, and I can get in your face. Did you hear me, mister? Right? And the students are like, get out of my face. Get out. Okay? So we have to come to an understanding and recognize these behaviors for what they are, and we think that will lead to not sending them out of the room, but teaching situational appropriateness. What does that mean? That means that the student recognizes, oh, I'm in school. That means that she's going to be looking at me. And I got to code switch. I have to code switch, right? And once they learn that lesson, they're going to be on the road to success. Because all of us, to make it through the education system, had to learn how to code switch on one level or another.